Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a seasonal tag video. I haven't done a tag video in a while, and I know I was recently tagged by Aoife to do I think it was maybe the Wizard of Oz book tag, and I haven't gotten to that one either just because I haven't been doing a whole lot of filming lately. But I did want to jump in and kind of do this autumn book tag just because it felt very seasonal and I was interested in doing it. So without further ado, I'm going to share my answers to the autumn book tag. The first question is, are there any books that you are going to be reading over the autumn season, or what books are you looking forward to reading over the autumn season? I'm just gonna kind of go over a couple. The first are the two that I'm currently reading, and that is The Gentleman, which I got in the Muse monthly subscription box. I think it was for September, October, I don't remember which month, but I am currently reading this. I'm about halfway through and I'm really enjoying it. It's funny, it cracks me up because the book is written by the kind of main character, and then it has an editor who has gone through and made footnotes, and the footnotes are so funny because they're this like dry sense of humor, and half of the time he's contradicting the author, and it's just hilarious. And the one doing the footnotes is his wife's cousin, I think. It's just funny. Basically, this is a story of a man who's accidentally sells his wife to the devil and then has to go on kind of a mission to reclaim her. And so far, it's been really funny. And it's like this weird mix of, I don't know, it's like a dry Victorian kind of comedy book, and I am enjoying it. The second one that I'm currently reading is a book that is kind of a reread for me. It's the rewritten second edition of the book Ready Okay by Adam Cadre, and the original book Ready Okay is one of my all-time favorite books. I read it when I was a teenager and it just really resonated with me. I thought it was really funny and clever, heartbreaking. It's just, I don't know, it's phenomenal. It's a black comedy and it's got a dry sense of humor, and it's just one of my favorite books of all time. And recently Adam actually rewrote the book entirely. He said he kind of started from scratch, keeping the same, you know, path with the book, but that he had rewritten it, and he didn't do any kind of copying and pasting or just editing. He actually rewrote the book. So I'm nervous about it, but I'm also really excited. That book has one of the hands down best first lines of any book I've ever read. The first line says something to the effect of, "I didn't know that in a few weeks nearly everyone I cared about would be dead. It was unburdened by that knowledge that I went down to the DMV to get my driver's license." And it's just, that right there sums up the book. It's this dry comedy, but at the same time it's full of really incredible human tragedy, and I wish more people would read it, and I think this rewritten second edition is a good opportunity for a lot of people to get their hands on it and read it. And so I'm hoping that I enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed the first time. And then I will also be reading a handful of nonfiction books come November, because I'm going to be participating in Nonfiction November. I will link the video about that down below. Olive from A Book Olive is one of the co-creators of this kind of month-long readathon, and I'm going to be participating. I'm going to have a video coming up probably next week with all of the nonfiction books that are on my shelf that I'm kind of picking from for Nonfiction November, but I do want to focus on some nonfiction books. Question 2 talks about how September brings back memories of back to school, and asks, what book did you read in school that you actually enjoyed, and what were your favorite subjects and least favorite subjects? Now, my school, I don't know about other people, but my high school, we started back like the first week of August, so we were already well into school in September. But that aside, I did really enjoy reading Arms and the Man by George Bernard Shaw. It's just a tiny little play. I've talked about this before, but my English teacher, who was absolutely phenomenal, like I wish that everybody could have an English teacher like her, because I think she is a huge part of why I love reading and really reading deeply when it comes to books. But this play we actually read out loud, so people were assigned different parts and you would read them out loud. I think I actually have somewhere in here where I wrote out who played what parts or who read what parts, and it's annotated, and it was just so much fun. And this play is really hilarious. George Bernard Shaw is a great playwright. There were other books that we read that I really enjoyed. She picked a lot of really off-the-wall books that are not your normal reads for English classes. As far as subjects go, I was a big fan of English, and I actually really liked math. I stuck with higher level math classes to the end, and really enjoyed calculus up until the point that our teacher got in a really bad car accident. She was okay, so that was good. But it was like the week that you learn the one principle that you have to completely understand to get through the rest of calculus, because if you don't understand that solidly, the rest of calculus doesn't make any sense. And so we had a substitute teacher who took over for the rest of the year at that point, who was fresh out of college, and not a single one of us understood anything from that point on. And when we took the AP exam, I'm pretty sure every single one of us got a 1 or a 2, and you get a 1 for putting your name on it. So safe to say I didn't really get on with the second half of calculus, just because not the greatest teacher taking over at that point. But the subject that I really didn't like in high school was science, and you had to take science classes, and I think my junior year I took 2 science classes so that senior year I wouldn't have to take any, because I just really did not like science. Question 3 is October means Halloween, and so it's asking what kind of spooky books do I like, what kind of spooky movies do I like. I don't like spooky or scary or creepy things. I am a person who doesn't read horror. I don't watch horror movies. The only horror movie I ever watched, I watched the first 5 minutes of Scream and then was like, nope, we're not watching this. And then I watched Urban Legends all the way through, and I did not sleep for like 48 hours after watching that movie. So I just don't do horror movies or creepy movies. The creepiest I get is Hocus Pocus. I much more prefer the campy, cheesy movies that come on Disney Channel, Halloween Town, Twitches, that kind of thing. I'm a fan. I literally don't read horror books, so I like to know how they end. So with things like Girl on the Train, that other one, the Gillian Flynn book, that Nosferatu book, I always Google them and then read the wiki synopsises because I really want to know how they end, but I never read them because I just can't do it. I just literally can't. Question 4 says that fall is a time for bonfires and fireworks, and asks what is the most exciting book that you've read this year. I would have to say that would be Illuminae right over here, because it says books that kept you gripped to the end. Illuminae, I was dying to know how it ended. I was just like turning pages because I was freaking out. That whole Firefly meets Battlestar Galactica thing that I've talked about many times, or alluded to many times because I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler, just kept me on the edge of my seat the same way I was on the edge of my seat watching Serenity. And yeah, phenomenal. I already have Gemina in my hands. It came early because Sunday delivery is really confusing, and I am very excited to read it and continue on with that. Question 4 is what's your favorite cozy comfy read? And that's always going to be Harry Potter, which is the unoriginal answer. But I could honestly reread those books every year, and they always make me feel happy and just cozy because they are my favorite, and I love being in that world anytime I can. And then I would also say that historical fiction in general, I find those to be kind of cozy comfy reads, just because I don't know, they always feel very nostalgic and comfortable for me and light. So I do really like to read a good historical fiction book curled up with a cup of tea and a warm blanket on a autumn day. Which leads directly into question 6, which just says you're curled up with a book and a blanket and you have a hot beverage. What is your hot beverage of choice? That's tea, hands down. I drink any kind of tea, herbal, black, green, white, any of it. And then question 7 is any plans that you're looking forward to this autumn? Dewey's 24-hour readathon is this week, and I am so excited about it. I have been planning and rearranging to make sure that I can really participate and enjoy it to its fullest. And when I say that, I mean I adjusted my Friday schedule so that I get off earlier, so that I can get to bed on time, so I can get up early for the readathon. And then I also took the Monday after off, so I don't have to feel guilty staying up really late on Saturday night and into Sunday morning. So I'm super excited about that. And then after that, a couple weeks from now, my husband and I are going to Asheville, and we always love going to Asheville. It's just like this wonderful, comfy place for us. We've been a couple times together, and I'm looking forward to going to my favorite places, Malaprops, Dobra, French Broad Chocolate. We're just gonna have a great weekend and enjoy some of our favorite places. And just generally chill, and I'm very excited about that. We also get to see our wedding photographer, who I adore and just can't wait to see again in a not hectic situation, so I'm excited to see her and spend some time with her. But yeah, that is basically it for the autumn tag. I am not going to tag anybody because I feel like a lot of people have done this, but if you want to do it, then definitely it's a fun tag, and I'd love to hear your answers. And if you just want to answer the questions in the comments, you can do that too. I'd love to read your answers, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful, cozy autumn and a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!